This is a story about how one city's rush to grow is driving an icon of that city to extinction. Brisbane is Queensland's capital city and growing fast. Brisbane is also Australia's most biodiverse capital city. The human population shares the city with over 800 species of wildlife, which our council has pledged to protect. Taking one iconic resident as an example, we review their performance to date and then share what our politicians have said about their plans for the future. The squirrel glider is a real gem. It is one of 6 Australian gliding marsupials. Its range extends from South Australia to North Queensland, with a stronghold in southeast Queensland extending into northern New South Wales. It is endangered to some degree in every state except Queensland. Here it is officially common, but since that has not been reviewed for 20 years, their official status really has no meaning. Brisbane City Council, however, has independently declared squirrel gliders to be significant, meaning that they are a species at risk of becoming extinct in Brisbane if future developments do not accommodate their ecological needs. Squirrel gliders live in eucalypt forests. They move by gliding from tree to tree. How far they can glide depends on the height of the launch tree and what obstructions there are, but 60 metres is possible. For this reason, they prefer open eucalypt forest, what we normally call woodland. They feed on nectar, pollen, insects, and the gum that one often sees on the trunks of wattles. In Brisbane, only the Bulimba and Cabbage Tree Creek catchments are believed to still have significant glider populations. Along Cabbage Tree Creek there are 11 known populations, all small and all now isolated from each other. Fragmentation of populations is a problem. One study, using Brisbane data, concluded that connectivity between populations greatly impacted survival. Isolated populations? No hope. 3 populations connected? Just a little better. 5 populations connected might survive for a century. Where we are now along Cabbage Tree Creek is back at stage 1, with no connectivity whatsoever. Another recent study involved taking tissue samples from the gliders, finding that they already showed signs of inbreeding, and this despite our council having a policy to prevent this from happening. But if one looks at the evidence, it seems that our council followed a process without an output. That process originated in a policy statement, which progressed to an action plan, which in turn made 2 main recommendations. The first involved making 58 road crossings glider friendly, using a range of techniques. However, in the 10 years since the plan was done, only 2 out of 58 have been completed. The second was to install nest boxes at these 58 road crossings to give the gliders somewhere to shelter during the day. None have been installed over this 10-year period. We have taken this information, presented it to the 3 political parties and asked them what they intend to do for our gliders. Both the ALP and the Greens have committed to our 10-point plan, which is based on recommendations from the experts. The LNP has pledged to continue with their existing policies, in other words, to do more of that which has resulted in our gliders becoming inbred. And this is the choice we face. We can continue to develop our city until only people and pests remain, or grow it in a way that lets our children and grandchildren share it with our wildlife. It is our choice.